What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with my MLB Week 23 power rankings. Just a few weeks left in the MLB season, and the playoff race is heating up. Let's get into it here. 30 through 26. Your same old five culprits here, 30 through 26. White Sox, Rockies, Marlins, Angels, A's. The only thing I will say out of this group is the A's are playing some good baseball as of late. Competitive baseball, that is. They're not always getting the wins, but they are giving some teams some tough fits. I wouldn't say that about the Angels, but they had a bad week. And then the Marlins are actually one of those teams. They got enough young talent that I think are looking to prove themselves. Where the Rockies and White Sox, don't really have much there to work with. But hey, the Rockies went into Milwaukee and actually took a series from them, which could be big down the road. 25 through 21. I'd say 23 through 25, probably 22 through 25 are all out of the race. Mathematically, they're still in it, but more than likely they're out of it. They'd have to win out and have a lot happen. I could see the Reds really getting in the way of some teams as they have a tough schedule, but it's a lot of playoff teams looking to get in. Same for the Nats. They face the Braves, and I think the Mets one more time possibly could do some damage there. Then the Pirates actually play the Royals this week, who are hanging on to one of those wild card spots, so they could play spoiler as well. But those Red Sox 0-3 against the Mets on the road. Needed at least one of those to be a win. Fortunately not, and they're starting to fall down in the wild card race. And then the White Sox win obviously was big for them, really responding and getting that series. But man, do they have it in front of them? 3 against Baltimore, 4 in New York, and they got to go at least 4-3 this week to keep those playoff chances alive. 20 through 16, same thing for all these teams. Their chances are still there. All these teams are on the outside looking in. I think the Mariners have the best chance to make the playoffs out of all these teams here on this one, just because the AL West is still up for grabs and they're right there. Rangers technically too, but they got to win pretty much every single series and not lose that many more games. They can't lose more than probably 5 more games for the Rangers to get in. But it's possible. It's definitely possible. Cardinals and Giants, the two NL teams here. Not looking too promising for them to get in, but they could get hot. Maybe a 6-0 week, one of these 2 weeks here coming up, and they'll have a chance too. But the Rays, they're playing 500 baseball, and that's kind of reflecting the record. So I don't really expect them to get in because they really haven't went on a big win streak at all this year. Now, 15 through 11, two of these teams are in the playoffs as of right now, and that's the Padres and the Twins. We're the 3 on the outside looking in, the Braves, Tigers, and the Cubs. The Braves and Tigers are both the 2 teams that are the first team eliminated if the playoffs were to end today. And I think that both of those teams have the best chance to get in. Obviously, the Braves are tied with the Mets for the last spot, and you have the Padres above the Diamondbacks for the second spot. The NL is more likely to get a team in or a team bounced in the last possible game than the AL, just because the Tigers are 3.5 back here with a few weeks left to go. And they have it in front of them as well. They got 3 in Colorado. If you sweep them there, maybe you gain a game on possibly the Royals, Twins, whoever, and then 3 against Baltimore, and you got to win that series if you really want to probably make the postseason. The Twins, kind of same thing for them. Easy series this week because both those teams aren't going to the playoffs. Cubs, they got it in front of them, and it's tough for them. 3 in the LA. If they get swept by the Dodgers, you can probably kiss their playoff chances goodbye. And then the Padres, 5 road games. Tough week for them because you got teams right there fighting for that wild card spot. So they got to show up and play some good baseball on the road if they want to keep their footing as the top seed or top wild card seed. Now 10 through 6, this is where it gets interesting. I think all these teams are great baseball teams. They're just all jumbled up into one big pile here. The Astros, Mets, Royals. It's really going to be whoever's a better week. The Astros probably will this week because their schedule looks a little easier than you could say the Mets and the Royals, just because the Royals are going on the road. Same for the Mets for both their series, and Houston gets Oakland at home, and they don't have to, play a tough series on the road against the Angels. Where the Mets 3 in New York, or sorry, the Royals 3 in New York and then at Pittsburgh, and the Mets 3 in Toronto, which is a stingy team come September, and 3 in Philly, which is a big series for those Mets to really solidify themselves as probably more than likely could be a playoff team. And then you got the Guardians and the Yankees. And the Yankees have started to struggle recently. I think they're 500 in their last 15 games, I believe, 14 games. Guardians, kind of same thing. They're beating the teams they need to beat on the AL side to keep the lead in the AL Central and stay out of the wild card. But other than that, they haven't really been doing too much. Like they probably will sweep the White Sox and then split with the Rays, just because that's kind of how the Guardian season has been going. And now 5 through 1. I think you can expect all these teams to make the playoffs here, maybe even clinch here with in this week or early next week. Besides the Diamondbacks are the team that could fall out if they have one back a week just because of that wild card spot in the NL is crazy. They're only on a 2 game lead against the Braves. Brewers, big lead in the NL Central. They're probably going to clinch here. Like I said, end of this week, maybe next week. And then the Orioles, obviously, were battling those Yankees for the division title. And the Phillies, I wouldn't say they've all but wrapped up the NL East, but it's definitely theirs for the taking. If they can beat the Mets there in that series, it's probably going to be theirs. Then the Dodgers, if they win probably 95 games to 100, the division's going to be theirs just because the Diamondbacks and the Padres wouldn't be able to keep up. These teams all right here, I think could win a World Series this year. They're playing some great baseball when it matters most in September. And maybe Shohei joins the 50-50 club, which is very, very hard to do. That's going to be it for my week 23 power rankings. Check back next week to see where your team ranks with only a few weeks left in the season.